Hello, everybody. Welcome to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. Hope your weekend is off to a good start. Browns an extra day to prepare, back on Monday Night Football for the first time since 2015, getting ready for the New York Jets. Both teams 0-1 on the year. This is the same matchup, the Jets and the Browns, that kicked off Monday Night Football back on September 21st, 1970. The Browns won that one by 10 points. Of course, the Browns come into week 2 needing a win desperately. 0-1, 18 penalties for 182 yards in that opener. 3 Baker Mayfield interceptions, one of them returned for a touchdown, and just a poor showing in the opener against the Tennessee Titans. The Freddie Kitchens era didn't begin the way any Browns fan thought it would, and it certainly didn't begin the way Freddie Kitchens thought it would. Kitchens and the Browns, a sense of urgency in getting things fixed in week 2.
I'll just say this. Our guys know we don't coach penalties, okay? We don't. So it comes down, here's what football comes down to. The smartest and the most physical team usually wins the game, all right? We were a physical team the other day, all right? But we weren't the smartest team. Our guys understand that. They accept that. Now, I've told you before, we've identified a problem, okay? Now we're going to rectify the problem. And that's really all I have to say about it. And that's moving forward. That's the way we approach every day. So that's the way it's going to be. Nobody's shaking here, okay? We're going to fix the problem.
The way you saw Baker respond to those 3, when he threw the 3 interceptions in that first half against Houston, the way he responded in the second half, I know you have confidence in him regardless, but is it nice to know that he was able to do that coming off the 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter?
You know, Baker's very resilient, and I'm not worried about Baker at all. And, you know, this is really, this is the last time I'm going to say anything about the last game because we've moved on. It's not even thought about. But, you know, sometimes as a quarterback, you got to understand the difference between pressing and not pressing, all right? And, you know, it's a 22-13 game, and we've got a guy running open down the field, and we couldn't get it off. So our team understands that. Nobody else probably does. But moving forward, we can take that experience and get better from it. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do.
You can't worry about who is or who isn't playing, but the fact of the matter is I'm guessing you were preparing to face Sam Darnold, so just the fact that Trevor Siemian's going to be in there, what's that do to your preparation?
Well, nothing at all. We're going to be focused on our preparation during the week, the same as we would have been before. We're going to try to get after the quarterback just like we did before. We try to affect the quarterback every way that we can, through coverage, through pressure. Nothing changed, you know. I was with a very good, you know, just look across the league. All you got to do is look across the league. These guys are in the NFL for a reason. Trevor can play. All right, so nothing's changed. I don't even know what. I know people like to make a big deal of it, and I'm not getting on you. People like to make a big deal of it, but you know, Tennessee didn't have their left tackle. All right, we went to Pittsburgh in 2015. We had a good football team. Maybe it's 15 or 16. Had a good football team in Arizona. They didn't have Ben Roethlisberger. They beat us. So that doesn't matter. What they do does not affect how we prepare. All right, we're going to prepare, and we're going to concentrate on ourselves, with ourselves getting better, ourselves playing smarter, ourselves playing tougher. You know, we want smart, tough, physical football players. And that's what we're trying to get. That has nothing to do about the opponent. No disrespect to New York at all. They are a good football team. Just watch them. They're a good football team. So, you know, ultimate respect for them, but they're not going to affect how we prepare.
You know a lot about Siemian and how different of a player is he compared to Darnold?
I know he makes NFL throws, you know. I remember following him in, he was free agent this year or last year. And, Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. Yes, I remember him in Denver. All right. Yeah. I mean, I hadn't seen a lot of tape on him this year yet, but I remember him from the past.
First, we gotta eliminate the mistakes, the self mistakes, the penalties. We get a big play and it gets called back. Offensive pass interference, holding, false start, whatever it is. We gotta eliminate those penalties, or it makes it very hard for you to win. And then on top of that, you just gotta make plays. That's what it's gonna come down to, is the team that makes the most plays, the team that makes the most stops, and usually the team that has fewer penalties wins.
Everybody's having a hard time kind of processing what's happened to Chris. What are your thoughts on the whole situation?
I mean, it's tough. I was thinking about it last night, and I can only imagine where he's at right now. So we're all praying for him, his family, her family, and right now we just got to pull together for him. Chris, I know if you're out there, it's nothing but love, and I'm here for you. I'm always going to be here for him, along with any other teammate. But we just gotta pull together for him as well as ourselves. But just be there for him any way that we can.
Odell, did you ever think that your watch would become such a
I'm
huge story?
done talking about the watch. If I wear pink laces and it's not breast cancer month, it'd probably be talked about. So it's with me. I know what it is. People just need something to talk about. I have a completely different mentality, different take on where I'm at in my life. I came here to play football. I don't talk about anything else but football. If anybody wants to talk about how I produced individually on the field, or how I didn't produce, or how the team lost, or whatever it is, we could talk about that. I'd love for people to talk about me as a football player. I'd love for them to say I'm not a good football player, or things like that. I would love to, you show me those facts, But other than that, I'm not talking about unnecessary stuff that people are mad about. It doesn't bother me. I'm not going to lose no sleep over it. If I want to wear it, I'll wear it. But I'm just done. I'm done talking about it.
But Freddie tells you not to.
I'm done talking about the watch.
Question about Mayfield in terms of he had a rough fourth quarter, obviously, and you're getting to know him. How resilient do you know him to be in terms of being confident that he'll overcome, that rough patch there?
He's not gonna quit ever. Just from what I know from him, he's not gonna quit. We were saying to each other, lead even when it hurts. Jarvis would come walk over and say, lead when it hurts. We're down. Whatever the score was, we didn't give up. Not saying we need a pat on the back for not giving up, but that just shows you what kind of person he is. And he's the leader of this team. And interceptions aren't always on the quarterback. It goes under his stat, but it's not always on him. So we just need to be where we need to be, make the plays that need to be made.
Has he been fun to play with?
Absolutely. I don't know anybody's fun to play with when you lose a game. So obviously we want to win games. We didn't come here to lose games. It's just the bottom line.
Odell, speaking about
Odell, Greg Williams always leaves his quarterbacks in one-on-ones wherever he's been.
I haven't seen that in years. So I don't know if I'll get to see one-on-ones and quarter. I don't see that no more. Safety over the top, linebacker dropping out underneath.
So you're not buying that one-on-one?
Nah, I definitely don't think that. The only thing I'm buying is, probably just got to watch out for the cheap shots and the dirty hits and all the things that he likes to teach. That's pretty much all we got to watch out for. Other than that, I expect the same too high safety. I don't expect much man-to-man. I don't expect none of that.
We played in a Monday night game against Baltimore a few years ago. I was hurt, I believe, but we did play in that game.
Well, it's your first one. If
Yeah.
you're hurt. But your thoughts on going on to that stage?
It's cool. For me, it's a night game, so it's kind of like preseason and stuff. But besides that, you can't really tell with all the cameras and stuff. You don't know how many people are watching when you're playing out there. You just kind of go out there and play. But it's cool. You get the theme song and all that stuff. It'll be fun. Your friends and teammates across the league that you've played with can watch and stuff. But besides that, it's just another game for us.
Joe,
Go ahead.
for everything that went wrong on Sunday, you guys are still in a 2-point game in the third quarter. You feel like most of everything has been cleaned up or is easily cleaned up, and you guys can quickly kind of put that behind you?
Yeah, we definitely need to execute. We talked a lot about unforced mistakes. We had a lot of penalties. We were in 1st and 15 or 1st and 20 and more a bunch of times. And, you talk about cleaning those things up, you work on it in practice, but until you can really play a game, it's hard to see that execution pay off. And there's other little things that we can work on, but when you're behind the chains that much, honestly, our 2 touchdown drives, we were behind the chains both those times too. We had a 15-yard penalty with Greg, and I think there was another hold on the other one. To score on those drives was impressive too. It's one of those things, though. We have to really be disciplined this week. We can't put ourselves behind. It's hard enough in this league to get 10 yards, let alone 20 yards. So that's the main thing on offense that we're really focused on is executing and being disciplined.
We'll have plenty more previewing the Browns-Jets matchup on Monday Night Football. Well, there are over 130,000 winners on Ohio Lottery pick games every month. With the amount of winning, try pick 3, pick 4, or pick 5 for chances to win up to $50,000 twice a day. You can win $500, $5,000, and $50,000 twice a day on the Ohio Lottery pick 4 or pick 5 games. We're just getting things rolling. More sports and less Levine. The Weekend Winners Edition will continue. We will have more as we listen to the Browns as they get ready to face the New York Jets on Monday Night Football.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine. Welcome back to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. Browns getting ready for the Jets, trying to get their first win of the season on Monday Night Football, and that opener was not a good one. Browns were just 1 of 10 on third downs, 0 of 2 on fourth downs. The mixing and matching on the offensive line did have something to do with their lack of ability to put any type of offense together after that first drive of the football game. But it wasn't the only thing. Play calling was an issue, and defensively, the Browns allowed almost 4.5 yards per carry on the ground to the Tennessee Titans. Both offensive coordinator Todd Monken and defensive coordinator Steve Wilks have plenty of work to do. The Browns need a win in Week 2 against the New York Jets.
Obviously, Greg was here, so we're all familiar with him. But it presents challenges. We're sure that, he's got some stuff waiting for us, surprises here and there, and we'll be ready for anything.
Everybody we talked to said, Greg loves to bring the blitz. Do you relish that when the coordinator does that to you?
Yeah, if we can get on the same page and be able to get the ball out or protect it up and push the ball down the field, I think whenever you're playing a team that blitzes and different things and exotic stuff, you got to be on the same page, and so that's important for us this week.
Obviously,
no, we're playing the Jets.
obviously you spent more time with Freddie last year, but when the changes were made, what was your relationship with Greg Levine?
He was our head coach for that back half of the season. A few meetings with Greg about, just defensively what they were thinking, what we needed to do on offense, and I don't know. Greg's he's the same mindset guy every week, so we knew what to expect out of him. But we know this one means a lot to him.
Greg, what have you seen in practice so far this week to convince you that it will not be a repeat of the opener?
The fact that we go back to work and fix the corrections.
What was it like finally having Odell out there on Sunday, and how much has it changed?
No, it was good to have him out there going full speed. Obviously, we didn't win, so we got to make some changes and find ways to get the ball downfield and in the end zone.
Hey Baker, going back to Sunday when you said everybody's going to throw you guys in the trash, do you embrace the chance to bounce back on the national stage? Everybody's going to be watching. Do you kind of embrace that pressure to do on that stage?
It wouldn't matter the stage, but yeah, that does make it a little more exciting for our guys, knowing that we got a lot of people counting us out, and we're going to take it one game at a time. And on Monday night, there's no better way to do it.
Coming off the fourth quarter that you had Sunday, just having that the Houston game last year in your back pocket, the fact that you had this tough start and were able to bounce back, does it just give you extra confidence knowing that?
I think something important for a QB is short memory. So, just putting that behind me, making corrections, knowing that we've made changes, and I'm going to have my eyes in the right place and do the right things.
I know you're looking forward, but that Jets game was such a big moment for you and for this franchise last year. When you reflect back on it, what do you remember most about that night?
Just the energy in our stadium. So I think for us it'll be different on the road, but it presents its own challenges of playing on the road. It's the first road game we have this year, and then also playing against a familiar face that has been around Freddie and been around some of the guys in this offense.
Hey Baker, last year in the final 8 games, you only took 5 sacks,
Mm-hmm.
and then the opener took 5 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
When you went back and looked at it, were you holding on to it too long in certain instances, or what's kind of your evaluation of what happened?
Yeah, definitely holding on to it and get rid of the ball, but we can be better overall as an offense. It ultimately comes back on me, and I need to get everybody on the same page.
When you left Sunday night, were you worried about the wrist at all, and how's it doing now?
Looks good.
Good to go.
Looks good.
Baker, C.J. Mosley, we know how he ended the season last year.
Mm-hmm.
Does he look like he has an even bigger role with the Jets than he did with the Ravens? He looked like he had a great game.
Yeah, it's a different role. Knowing what Greg does with his defense, the Mike has a lot of control over what they do and communication-wise and getting people lined up. The Ravens last year, they're just completely different. They had a bunch of veterans that lined up, and they did so many different things, whereas Greg, they rely on that linebacker in the middle to get everybody lined up.
Schematically, do the Jets look like the Browns defense did last year? With Greg Williams there?
It's always a little different just because the personnel is different. I think whenever you have a different team, you try and call plays, to their strengths.
What did you see when you watched back? I believe it was a play where you could have hit Odell for the touchdown that would have made it 22-20, but a few different things were wrong on that play. What did you see when you watched that one back?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
First play of the fourth quarter, Freddie referenced it today. It was at least a big gain. I don't know if a touchdown. Odell's coming across the field. You rolling to your right, get pressure right away.
Yeah.
Demetrius got called for a hold.
Oh, okay. Is that the one you're talking about? No, it's just we got to, eliminate negative plays. If I'm able to set up and throw that ball, I'm not going to take the chance rolling completely right and throwing the ball. That would be probably a 50-yard throw in the air. Trying to eliminate negative plays, and so that's when we get behind the chains and, you're not helping yourself out.
Did it feel like the Titans took away a lot of your first reads and that contributed to maybe some of the sacks you faced?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'd say just getting the ball out and knowing we got to have answers for what they're doing. It's when we have all of our guys out there, teams are going to play different defensively, so having answers for whatever coverage you're going to bring.
When you have a receiver like Odell, do you have to resist the temptation to wait for him extra second?
Yeah, there's definitely certain plays where we want to get the ball in his hands and we draw it up to do so. But I think, it's very important for me to do my day one reads and trust that, the guys that we have out there. Jamal's obviously a very versatile player, a great leader for that team, not just the defense. He's able to do a lot, big physical safety that can move around too. So he's just he's a guy that changes the game, so you got to know where he's at.
Do you think not having Rashard affected you guys in the second half?
No, obviously we'd love to have him in there just because he got a lot of reps at what we were doing. But, that's why we say next man up. And we expect Ratley to be able to do the same things and just come right in there with, no hesitation.
You were so big on kind of uplifting Greg Robinson last year.
Yeah.
What kind of, messages have you given him? So obviously he didn't want to get rejected.
Yeah.
It hurt you guys.
No, he knows that, He knows what happened after that, and he can feel that. He's going to be hard on himself, and he knows that we're counting on him. So it's kind of one of those things, it's better left unsaid, but he knows we're counting on him. He knows that we need him out there and we want him out there.
You played a lot of, obviously in high school you played night games, so it's not like you never played night games. What do you like about playing night games?
Under the lights, different energy. Monday nights, it'll be my first Monday night game, so it'll be fun.
We'll welcome in our Browns analyst, Jake Burns, to break down the Browns-Jet matchup in just a few minutes. But first, have to tell you about Northeast Factory Direct. We've been telling you about Northeast Factory Direct for quite a while now. But let me remind you about this great story of a local business that was born 20 years ago. Alex started the company out of a small garage in Lakewood, selling a single dining room set because he had no overhead costs of a traditional store. He was able to sell it at half the price of the retail store. He realized he was onto something. He had a great business model, and eventually word spread about how incredible his prices were. He had to pack up and move from the garage into a single storage unit, then it turned into multiple storage units, and so on. Added all kinds of different furniture. Before you knew it, Northeast Factory Direct was born. Now, we always preach about how Northeast Factory doesn't do any gimmicky sales of the traditional big box stores. They have something special planned. They're celebrating their 20th year in business. Since it started in a garage, they're having a garage sale event all September long. Not a normal sale, it's a celebration. They're putting special pricing on many items, even lower than their already low prices. Go and check it out at all the locations all September long. This weekend, if you want to have fun, there's some extra special stuff at the old B&B Appliance location on Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid. They're also on West 140th in Cleveland and Freeway Drive in Macedonia, northeastfactorydirect.com. You can see everything that they have. We're going to step aside, take a quick time out. When we return, we will check in with Jake Burns, our Browns analyst, to break down the Jets and the Browns on Monday Night Football. More sports and less Levine. The Weekend Winners Edition will be right back.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
We had a horrible storm that flooded our basement.
We had to take out that nasty moldy carpet.
And we never want to have to go through that again. That's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of September and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Welcome back to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. Time to welcome in our Browns analyst, Jake Burns from the Orange and Brown Report. Breaks down film, does a great job. Jake, appreciate the time very much. Obviously, Sam Darnold not under center. Trevor Siemian is under center for the Jets. It's a guy who's played in the league, but what do you see that doing for the Browns defense?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to take the pressure off of them, and especially with Simeon, who's not a quick processor, doesn't have the arm Sam Darnold does, and he hasn't functioned as an out of the pocket guy successfully like Sam has either. So it's just going to be a very vanilla scheme among the Le'Veon Bell injury, among the few other knick-knack injuries they have there on the defense. But offensively, they should be able to bottle them up. But I expect a really safe game plan like the Titans threw out last week. So it's good that the Browns have that on tape and a feel for how to defend those things. So they just have to play sound football and win at the point of attack and keep their emotions in check.
When you look at Le'Veon Bell, obviously, people still have that screenplay to Derrick Henry in their minds, and Le'Veon Bell is a whole lot more dangerous in the passing game. Is that a concern for the Browns defense?
They really have never struggled all too much with defending, receiving backs. It's tight ends that give them some fits. So I'm not overly worried about it. I know Le'Veon's going through an MRI today. He might not even play. So we're just going to have to kind of play that, close to the ear. But I do expect if he does play, they're going to keep him to, as a big part of their game plan, keep him as active as possible. But the Browns are going to have to, sort of throttle down on those screenplays, make themselves aware of what's going on with those. If you're getting to the quarterback without someone touching you, there's probably a reason. So hopefully they can keep those emotions in check, slow down a little bit, keep a feel for some of those screenplays, because I expect the Jets will use, the Titans had 3 screenplays that were very close to breaking before they broke the 75-yarder. So, everybody on the Browns schedule should be making that a big part of their plan, especially with the aggressive front four the Browns have.
When you look at the penalties, obviously a concern, 18 of them for over 180 yards. How many of them were basically on the players? A lot of people want to say it's undisciplined, it's the coach. At some point in time, professional athletes have to realize they're hurting the team. And a lot of those were those flavor of penalties.
Yeah, I think I counted only 3. I went through each one and broke it down for the OBR. I think only 3 of them were sort of questionable officiating type of calls. It was the pass interference on Odell Beckham I thought was iffy. I thought the crack block there, blindside call on Greg Robinson was a little bit iffy. And then there was a false start that I thought was a little strange in nature. But for the most part, they're all on the Browns. They're all player discipline, 2 roughing the passers, Miles throwing a punch, Greg Robinson, kicking somebody. They have to keep those emotions in check, and then they have to know that in open space, you cannot hang on somebody's jersey. Too many holding calls happened in the second half just by lazy approach or not knowing that a ball could be bounced back in your direction outside, and you cannot hold someone's jersey. It was very obvious right in front of the official. So they just have to clean it up. I mean, I think if you cut out some of the goofiness that was the personal fouls and the rough passers, you get out of 5-6 penalties. So, 10 penalties is never good. But at the same time, you could live with that in a game. So they're just gonna have to figure out, some of those angle things with blocking, and then I just don't think that we're going to see those mental mistakes again. And you have to expect a regression to the mean with penalties there.
When you look at a Greg Williams defense, how big of an advantage is it that he's somewhat familiar with the Browns personnel, at least Baker Mayfield? And what do you expect from Greg Williams' defense with the Jets?
Well, I think it works both ways. I think it's good for the Browns that they've played against Greg's defense. I watched the Week 1 tape, and that defense is very similar to what he ran in Cleveland. It's single high safety, cover 1, cover 3, and then he'll run 2 high, cover 2 with a deep middle running linebacker. They ran C.J. Mosley in that Tampa 2, which was sending your middle linebacker deep down the field to run with anybody going down the middle of the field. It's all the same. Now, I do think he'll mix some things up. He'll do some things different. He'll do some exotic blitzes to try to confuse Baker. I expect him to play a lot of zone. He knows the Browns well, but the Browns know him well, and they're dealing with a dinged-up group. Quentin Williams dealing with the ankle. Obviously, Jamal Adams is dealing with a sore body this week, too. There's just advantages everywhere for the Browns, so I expect the Jets to try to be quirky in approach to try to make up for that.
When you look at Steve Wilks' defense, how concerned are you with it? There were some good things, and then when the game got out of hand, short field, pick 6 made it a lot uglier than it was.
Yeah, I think that I was fine with it. I was fine with their approach. They just have to play better. I think at some point the players have to play better. Denzel Ward was atrocious. They have to play better. They have to take away some of those easy things that are right in front of them. And I just think that they thought they were going to show up and win that football game, and they didn't use technique sound, football in terms of keeping inside leverage as a corner, stop holding off of breaks, defensive linemen over pursuing or hitting the quarterback late. They're good enough they played well for the most part. I thought they bottled up Tennessee pretty well. They have an immense amount of talent. It's going to happen for them. They just have to trust their coaching and trust the skill.
Was it a good sign that Schobert and Kirksey were two of the leading tacklers for that defense in game one?
Yeah, they were all over the field. I thought they played pretty well. They had some mental lapses late there with tight end coverage, but yeah, I was impressed with how they defended the run. I thought Schobert played well, tackled well, but they have to cover tight ends still. They're still struggling to cover tight ends with any sort of deception that happens from the opposing offense. So they have to anchor that down, and they have to know who's responsible for those tight ends, especially when teams play 2 or 3 tight ends, which I think the Jets might do the same thing to help with protection and sort of keep that cautious game plan that we saw Tennessee run.
When you look at that offensive line, we had talked about that a couple of times. How concerned are you now? And really, Hubbard was the guy that I thought just didn't play very well, to be honest with you. And I know he switched from right to left, but it didn't matter where he was. He was getting beat wherever he lined up.
Yeah, I mean, it was fluky. They had to move a guy one side to the other. Then they obviously had to bring in Kendall Lamb. He gets hurt on the first play. So, it's just the interior played well. The tackles have to play better. But they're also not going to be behind the sticks on 3rd and 12, 13, 14, long second downs where teams know they're forced to throw. And in those situations, you can balance out a little bit of deception, and hopefully the line can sort of anchor. I don't think it's as bad as people think. But it was certainly not good.
The last thing I'll ask you, what do you see as keys? If you were going to say if the Browns can do these couple of things, they'll get the result they want on Monday night.
Well, I think they needed to bottle up and blitz the run game. I think they needed to attack Le'Veon Bell on the run game. Buffalo did a really good job of that. With Sam playing, I thought they needed to blitz occasionally to force him into some trap coverages like Buffalo did. But now it's just going to be, to me, it's just going to be playing sound defense, keeping everything in front of you, and bottling up the run game as you should be able to, and just not getting beat over the top, playing safe defense, but using the skills back in front to take advantage of those mismatches along the Jets' offensive line. And then offensively, it's just going to be about a methodical approach. Take shots downfield when you have them, because you'll have those shots, and then it's taking care of the football. I think they just take care of the football. The skill is that much better, and they should be fine.
I'm going to sneak one more in. Are you surprised they didn't run Nick Chubb a little bit more? Or did that was that dictated by the way the game was going?
Yeah, it's probably dictated by the way it was going. They were in a little bit of catch-up mode, and they kept putting themselves behind the sticks. And when you do that, you eliminate runs on 2nd and 3rd down, and you can only run so many times if you're not picking up downs in general. So if you're only running 3 plays, maybe 5, 6 plays on average to drive, you're just not going to have enough run opportunities. And I think they're going to really try to fix that this week and try to go into this one with the plan of, we're going to let Nick run 18 to 20 times this game and really have him lead what we expect we can branch off of that run game and really make him a big factor. I would expect in that coaching office, they're sitting there talking about how can we get Nick involved early and often and stay in front of 3rd and long situations.
As always, great stuff. Jake Burns, our Browns analyst from the Orange and Brown Reports. We're going to step aside and take a quick timeout. When we return, we'll talk a little bit about the Jets. We'll hear from the Jets about this matchup. But before we take that break, I want to tell you about Tri-C, Cuyahoga Community College. Explore your interest and find a program that puts you on a path to a bright future. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses and over 140 career and technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu, that's tri-c.edu to find out more. Tri-C, where futures begin. We're going to step aside, take a quick time out. We'll hear from the New York Jets as they get ready to face the Browns on Monday Night Football. More sports, Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had 2 choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
Welcome back to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. Well, we know for certain that Sam Darnold will not be the quarterback for the Jets. It will be Trevor Siemian, who had played some for the Broncos a couple years ago. He will get the start against the Browns. Now, the Jets had a 16-0 lead before allowing the Buffalo Bills to score 17 points in the late third and fourth quarter to lose their opener 17-16. Greg Williams' defense, it was a typical Greg Williams defense for the Jets. They intercepted a pass, pick six. They had a safety, but they did allow the Buffalo Bills 370 yards of offense. And, Greg Williams just kept giving up big plays against the Buffalo Bills. They did lose 17-16, and it will be an especially bigger challenge for the Jets without their starting quarterback, Sam Darnold. He's out with mono.
Aggressive on defense, fast, good cover guys. These guys can play man all day if they want to. They got young players that are confident. They play that way too. I like their front. I like their front. They're going to be a tough group for us to go against. Their linebackers play smart. Just kind of. I've seen enough of those guys before we even played them, just from kind of maybe possibly studying Greg's defense for training camp. So, a lot of those players I just kind of feel familiar with just from watching so much tape. It's a good group of players. It's a tough group to go against.
How much has Greg been able to help, considering his experience coaching the majority of that defense?
Yeah, we had discussions early in the week, and it was just more about just certain guys. But, we've talked about so many of these guys, when he first got here and then just continued through. There's a lot of guys on that defense that he has a lot of respect for.
How should your team's expectations be adjusted without Sam for the season?
No, we're not going to adjust our expectations. We will not adjust. Next man up. That's our philosophy.
So you still believe it's fair then to say, because all offseason long you said you expect this team to play meaningful games in December, so that's still the case for you guys?
We're going to worry about this week. Let's not worry about November, December, all that crap. We're worried about this week.
Is there a chance at some point that you'll sign a third guy, maybe for practice squad?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll just kind of see how this week goes. We need to handle, Monday night first, and then when we get to that point, we'll be able to sit down after the game and kind of see where we are injury-wise and all those things. A lot of things can happen between now and Tuesday.
Adam, after those further tests that you guys got on Sam, is he someone who you guys might put on the IR with the intent of bringing him back, or
No.
This is a close
No. We'll get him back.
Okay.
It's not going to be that long.
Beckham was very critical of Greg, as I'm sure you are well aware.
Right.
He's one of the best players in the NFL, taking really a shot at your defensive coordinator. How do you respond to that?
For me, I haven't seen that. I've been in a lot of meetings. I've been in both defensive meeting with the coaching staff and when our guys have been coaching players, whether it be position meetings, defensive team meetings. Everything has always been about us. It's always been about playing fast, executing our assignments, effort, energy. I've never heard talk like that. So I can't say what he's saying because I've never heard that. So I would just say
everything I've heard from Greg Williams and our staff has been the type of things that we want football to be played like, which is it's about us, energy, effort. I mean, that's everything I've seen. We're coaching it clean.
You know, these guys are such good players. We've got so many talented players that I'm going to lean on. So, you know, Jameson, Robbie, you know, Ryan, you know, everybody up front has a ton of experience. So I'm fortunate in that sense. I can lean on these guys, and makes my job pretty simple. I got to run the show and, like I said, put the ball in the end zone. But makes my job easier leaning on these guys for sure.
You haven't played in a while, obviously, but what can you take from your Denver starting experience that might help you in this situation?
Well, you know, I don't know what I can take from that. I mean, I've played, so I guess the sense that I've been there and I've done it a little bit. It's been a while again, so it'll be, you know, like I said, I'm chomping at the bit to compete and be out there with the guys. But you know, I'll just say I feel comfortable.
How difficult is that too, you know, from your starter, and it's been such a long time since you've taken a snap in a real game? How difficult is that?
Yeah, I haven't thought about it, to be honest with you. You're so focused on the process of doing things, you know, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, and then, you know, year in, year out. I guess when I retire, I'll look back and think about some of those things, but I'm excited to play this week. You know, I'll say that.
You started a lot of games in 2016 and 17, and then last year you kind of took a step back as Kirk Cousins' backup. What did that year in 2018 do for you, kind of taking a different view of things after starting the previous 2 years?
Yeah, you just get perspective, I think. You know, no player wants to bounce around and play for a bunch of teams, but on the positive side, you get to see, you know, different players, good coaches, and what makes them so good. So, you know, we're all a culmination of our experiences. So, little things here and there pick up and add to my game and see what works and go from there.
Losing a starting quarterback, I would imagine, is a bit of an emotional hit to the players in the locker room. Is there anything other than going out and playing well that you can do or would try to do to kind of lift them up, address that?
No, I think you said it. But I'm not worried. I mean, we got such a mentally tough team and so many good players. These guys are built for this. I mean,
well, obviously we moved on. We focused on the Browns. We've fixed it, and it's going to be different. It won't happen again.
How'd you fix it?
Communication.
What stands out to you about the Browns offense?
Obviously, you know, they got some star power on the outside. Obviously, they got a hell of a competitor. I love him, Baker Mayfield. You know, he's a competitor that's going to get his guys going. Plays with passion, plays with energy, and it's going to be fun, man. Monday night, can't get no better than that.
What makes Jamal?
Manish, golly.
What makes Baker tough to face?
A lot of things, man. He can extend the pocket, obviously, but not only that, you know, he just rallies the troops, man. He leads them in the right way. He has so much passion and energy and swagger he plays with, and guys feed off of him. So, as a quarterback, when you can bring that to the field, knowing that, you know, he's going to give it his all each and every play, you know, you would love to have him as a teammate. So he's definitely going to have those guys ready to go.
Do you owe them after what happened last year?
I'm not getting into all that, man. We'll be ready to play.
Yesterday was the first practice you've ever missed in the NFL?
Yeah, it was. I was kind of upset about it when you told me that yesterday, man. Yeah, obviously that happened. You know, I didn't plan for it to happen, but it did. And obviously I'm back out there flying around, and I'm ready to go.
So what does that mean? I mean, practice obviously means a lot.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, practice how you play. Practice how you play. When you can get your hand on the ball, when you can make strip attempts, when you can communicate with your guys out there, things like that, those carry over to the game, and as well as energy and passion. So I thought we had a great practice today. It was outstanding, flying around the ball, making plays on the ball. So hopefully that carries over to the game.
What are your thoughts on the man with the watch?
I guess he wasn't here.
No,
as a player. I mean, he obviously everybody knows, man. He's, if not the best, you know, receiver in the game. Tons of respect for him. Obviously, he came from the best, you know, university. I mean, it's kind of set in stone. We're built a different way, and you know, I'm excited to play him for the first time. I'm looking forward to it, man. I know he is as well.
When did you first meet him, Jamal? When did you first meet Odell?
When I met Odell, man, I was about 16 or 17 on a visit at LSU. He was my host. I remember him wearing a white collared silk shirt. He had on some like leather wax black pants, I guess, at the time with some Timberlands. I'll never forget it. It was definitely different. But that's one of my good friends, and obviously a brother. Obviously, LSU family, and we're excited to compete out there. It's no friends on the field. He obviously knows that, and off the field we'll be good, but on the field it's go time.
When we return, we'll take a look at our point spreads with our point spreads expert, Ryan Fowler. But we got to tell you about Northeast Factory Direct. We've been telling you about Northeast Factory Direct for quite a few years now. 20 years ago, Alex started this company out of a small garage in Lakewood selling a single dining room set. Because he had no overhead cost of a traditional store, he was able to sell it at half the price of the retail store. He realized he was onto a great business model, and eventually word spread about the incredible prices. He had to pack up and move from a garage into a single storage unit, then it turned into multiple storage units, and so on. He added all kinds of different furniture. Before you knew it, Northeast Factory Direct was born. They're celebrating 20 years in business, and since it started in a garage, they're having a garage sale event all September long. Not a normal sale, more of a celebration, putting special pricing on many items even lower than their already low prices. Go and check out all of the locations, West 140th in Cleveland, Lakeland Boulevard, that's the old B&B location in Euclid, Freeway Drive in Macedonia, or you can go to northeastfactorydirect.com to see everything that they have. Northeast Factory Direct. Don't pay the big box prices at those stores, retail stores, for the Northeast Factory Direct. We're going to step aside, take a quick time out. Legalized wagering on sports just a little bit over an hour away at Presque Isle Downs Casino. We'll check in with our point spreads expert, Ryan Fowler, straight ahead with Fowler's 5 More Sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
I had an epoxy-based sand paint on my floor that deteriorated, and that's why I called Nature Stone.
Why paint? It's expensive, it's ugly, and it doesn't last. Nature Stone is always affordable. It's beautiful, and with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of September and save up to half off. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs Casino.
Welcome back to More Sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. Well, sports wagering legalized a little bit over an hour away from downtown Cleveland in Erie, Pennsylvania, Presque Isle Downs Casino. The Bet America Sportsbook, 50 state-of-the-art kiosks throughout the casino. A great place where you can go and wager legally on sports pretty quickly and easily. As I said, just touch screen vending machine type. Put your money in, make your bet. we welcome in our point spread expert for the Presque Isle Downs and Casino segment, and that is Ryan Fowler. Ryan, we appreciate the time. We are going to check in with Fowler's 5. Let's begin. The Seahawks and the Steelers. Who do you like in this one, Ryan?
Yeah, the Steelers kind of laid an egg last week, didn't they? I was liking the Steelers at the Patriots, and then I know Tom Brady, and when they're champs, they stay champs until you knock them off the throne, and the Pittsburgh Steelers did not look sharp. But I think back home, this is an advantage for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Seahawks did not look good last week against the Cincinnati Bengals at home. Now the Seahawks have to get on a flight, go to Pittsburgh. That's not ideal. So I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers bounce back this week. I think the running game gets going, and Juju Smith-Schuster is playing with a little bit of an injury, but he does have the advantage if he suits up on Sunday. I like the Steelers to cover the 4 at home and bounce back in a big way. They're much better than what they showed against the Patriots last week.
Steelers fans are certainly hoping that they are much better than they were against the Patriots. Let's move on. Another AFC North team, the Bengals. They actually looked pretty good against the Seahawks in that loss.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were surprised on the effort they put forth. Now, I will say this. The Seahawks, they notoriously start slow, especially against the spread. So it wasn't a big surprise they couldn't cover the 9.5. I think it was just the way that Andy Dalton was able to move the chains with his arm with no A.J. Green, right? They really didn't get a running game going against the Seahawks. That's no big surprise. But when you look at this matchup, they're back home in Cincinnati. Here's the crazy thing. San Francisco played at Tampa Bay last week. Now they have to play at Cincinnati this week. That's 2 East Coast, Eastern time zone games. First, those kickoffs are so early for them. Not ideal for them to start the season with 2 early kickoffs being a West Coast team. I think Andy Dalton gets back into his groove. Mixon, kind of dealing with an ankle injury right now, but with basically a pick 'em. There's a 1-point spread. I like the Bengals, based on the way they played last week, to pick up the win at home.
We're going to go with a little bit of a prop bet for the third one. Julian Edelman going against the Dolphins. Now, the over-under is 6.5 receptions. I think the over-under for me against the Dolphins might be 3. That defense was not good against the Ravens. What do you like with Edelman, 6.5 receptions?
Yeah, a lot of attention is going to be paid on Antonio Brown, whether he suits up or not this week for the Patriots. But it doesn't matter. If Antonio Brown plays or not, Julian Edelman remains Tom Brady's favorite target. He was targeted 11 times against the Steelers. He caught 6 of them. So now we're going to up the ante a little bit and say he can pick up 7, because I think Julian Edelman has 7 or 8 receptions against this Dolphins defense before, assuming that the Patriots jump out to a big lead, which a lot of people do, considering the spread is 19 in some places, favored by 19, quite a bit. Julian Edelman might get some rest there in the late 3rd, early 4th. I like Edelman to go over 6.5 receptions.
We'll move on. The Bears and the Broncos. This is one where you're going over or under. And the Broncos, a little bit of a short week, played that late Monday night game. And the Bears, a long week because they played Thursday to open things up. Both of them on the short end. Who do you like, or what do you like in this one?
Yeah, the point total is really low, 40, 41, depending on which book you work with. But I'm going to say under. Joe Flacco did not look inspired at Oakland. Oakland, it was... everything was against Oakland. They were 3-point home dogs, and Denver went in there, and they didn't do much. They kind of rallied late to try and make things interesting, but I don't see that Denver offense scoring that many points. I think the Bears are able to kind of put some more things together than they were against the Packers. Plus, they got an extended lead up to playing this game at Denver, so they have a little bit more rest under their belt. Both teams are going to run the ball a little bit. You have the game at elevation. I think this is a low-scoring game, probably in the totals around 36, 37, but not much more. I'll take the under 40.
And let's talk a little bit about the Browns-Jets. That one off the board earlier in the week when it was announced Sam Darnold has mono, of all things, and will not play. So, Trevor Siemian, you are the New York Jets quarterback, which Browns defense has to kind of like that.
Yeah, especially with the way things went against the Titans. I mean, the 18 penalties, the most since 1951. They can clean that up. I think they have fewer than 8 this week. I think getting rid of penalties is one thing. The problem is the offensive line needs to go against Greg Williams' defensive pass rush, which had a pretty good day against Josh Allen and the Bills last week. That's the one area that concerns me. Trevor Siemian, that guy fell out of favor really quick in Denver, and it's actually surprising that he's a backup. But I think there was a reason he's a backup, because they thought Sam Darnold was going to be their guy all 16 games. They didn't think they'd have to go to him this early, but with Darnold having mono, It's Simeon time, and I think Myles Garrett and the rest of them eat. No matter what the point spread is, I'm probably going to lean Browns at this one once it hits.
Ryan Fowler, as always, great stuff. We appreciate Fowler's 5, the Presque Isle, Downs and Casino Sportsbook. Want to remind you that, again, legalized sports wagering just a little bit over an hour away from downtown Cleveland in Erie, Pennsylvania, right off I-90. It's Presque Isle, Downs and Casino, the the Bet America Sportsbook, rather. 50 state-of-the-art touchscreen kiosks where you can wager, and you can go right in the casino door, and there's a couple of them there. Really nice place. You should head out there, just an hour away from downtown Cleveland. Again, that's Presque Isle, Downs and Casino, the Bet America Sportsbook. There are the lines for the Sunday football games. Of course, there's college football on Saturday, an entire weekend, and it is the Bet America Sportsbook at Presque Isle, Downs and Casino in Erie, Pennsylvania. That'll do it for this edition of More Sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. Browns and Jets Sunday. Les Levine will be back in Monday night to talk Browns and Jets Monday. Les Levine will be back in Monday night leading up to that from 6 to 7 with the 8:20 kickoff for Monday Night Football. We'll see you again next week here on More Sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. Have a great weekend, everyone.